So here I have a rhombus, and a rhombus is a type of parallelogram. So it has all of the properties of a parallelogram: opposite sides parallel, opposite sides congruent, opposite angles congruent, diagonals bisecting each other, all of the properties of a parallelogram. In addition, a rhombus has four congruent sides. So actually the definition of a rhombus is a parallelogram with four congruent sides. Now let's look at a few other properties of a rhombus. In elementary school, you may have learned that a rhombus is a diamond. So you may have studied diamonds, and a diamond is actually a rhombus. Okay, so a diamond is the same thing that you learned in elementary school, but in high school we call it a rhombus. So I'm going to take out a bigger rhombus here. Okay, so again, notice that all of the properties of a parallelogram are here. And in addition, we have four congruent sides. Now, what else do we have? Well, we also have diagonals that bisect each other, same as in a parallelogram. Notice that the diagonals are two different lengths. Okay, they still bisect each other, but they have another property here. Notice that they are perpendicular to each other. So that's a property that a rhombus has on top of the properties that the parallelogram has. So, and one other property is that the diagonals bisect the angles. In other words, this angle is congruent to this angle. And that's because I have an isosceles triangle here. And I also have another isosceles triangle here. Okay, because this side is congruent to this side, therefore this angle is congruent to this angle. All right, so let's go over all of the properties of a rhombus. So property on top of the parallelogram, one property is all four sides are congruent. Another property is that the diagonals, not only do they bisect each other, but the diagonals are perpendicular, which means that we have four right triangles that are created right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have four right triangles. Additionally, the diagonal, each diagonal bisects the angle. So we know that these angles are congruent, and we also know that each of these triangles, if I can spell isosceles, that would be good. Each of these triangles is isosceles. Okay, and if I do it the other way, if I go like this, you have an isosceles triangle here and an isosceles triangle there.